Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Tuesday, June 24th, 2025. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the Senior Minister of the Sunshine Cathedral. With me today are Bishop Robert Griffin and Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell. We are the Queer God Squad. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about us.
Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. Faith-based, progressive, pluralistic, and queer. There is no streaming TV show quite like this in the world. In 2025, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hotspots magazine, the 5th anniversary of Queer News Tonight with nearly 10,000 stories and 10 million views in 2024. We will produce the 25th anniversary of the Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival on June 14th. Pride Diversity Pride will be held in August, and Pride Fort Lauderdale will be held next February.
We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we urge you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral Perspective. Let's talk about Minjung, a Korean theology that lends itself to queer perspectives. On this show, we've discussed Liberation Theology, which teaches that God has a preferential option for the poor and oppressed.
We've discussed Black theology, which similarly affirms that God is actively involved in the struggle against oppression.
We've discussed Feminist theology, which tends to understand God as a source of creativity and empowerment rather than a cosmic emperor.
And womanist theology, wherein God is a liberating force that identifies with the struggle of Black women and other oppressed groups.
We've mentioned Mujerista theology that insists that God is expressed through the lives of women, particularly Latin women.
And everything we do is steeped in queer theology, which queers or challenges heteronormativity and gender binaries and systems that seek to silence or erase queer people.
Queer theology intentionally transgresses boundaries that are meant to limit or exclude queer people.
Queer theology affirms and celebrates non-heterosexual persons and flips the script on texts that have been used to harm queer folk, using those same texts to empower queer folk.
By spoiling homophobia for the homophobes and noticing how life and love and sexuality and all things sacred and divine cannot be limited to norms that privilege some while demeaning others, queer theology celebrates the very qualities of our lives that we were told we should be ashamed of.
Today we want to add to the mix of liberation, Black, womanist, feminist, Mujerista, queer theologies, and a Korean liberative theology called Minjung.
Minjung means the people's theology. It rose up in the 1970s in response to a military dictatorship that was particularly harsh on student and labor movements. Minjung is dedicated to the promotion of justice, to challenging economic exploitation and political oppression, and it values peace rooted in justice.
It embraces the idea of Han, which can be translated as sorrow or grief. Han is not just personal suffering, but also shared suffering.
Minjung theologians have favored a reunification of North and South Korea and have inspired religiously motivated social movements working for human rights, environmental protection, and gender equality.
Han and Minjung combined make up what might be called Korean liberation theology.
Just as queer theology is compatible with and has borrowed from liberation and feminist theologies and shares elements in common with the other liberative theologies, it seems to have a good bit in common with Minjung theology, as well as, and perhaps we can learn from it as well. I love this. I love this. And I had been exposed to it before I knew what it was called. I actually had a professor in seminary who was in the student movement in South Korea and went to prison and was treated really brutally. And but I didn't know that was fueled by a particular Christian theology. She was a Presbyterian lay theologian. I mean, but I just didn't know. And if she said, I didn't catch it, you know. And I sort of stumbled upon it because I found Han. And when I was sort of doing some research on Han, I stumbled on Minjung. And because there's this whole idea of Han about its idea of sin is to focus not on the sinner, but on the sinned against. The suffering, the people who suffer, the suffering that is caused by the sins of oppression and injustice. So sins are sort of social, and their victims are what Han is concerned with, the suffering of people, and it's a shared suffering, not just your individual sadness or whatever. And then the Minjung, this liberation theology, and all. So if you notice, there's this theme of these theologies we practice. We're not very Abelardian. We're not very Anselmian. The old European white guy systematic theologies. I mean, every once in a while we'll mention Bonhoeffer or Tillich, but Tillich especially because he was sort of a non-theologian. He was sort of an existentialist philosophical theologian. So him I like. But yeah, these old things where God is humanized and is powerful and it's power over and there's rules and you have to obey the rules or there's consequences. I have no use for any of that. But these liberation theologies, if theologies aren't liberative, I have no use for them. But these theologies that take you where you are, and it's concerned with the people who suffer and the people who have been marginalized, the people who have been excluded, and it starts there. And it reads from those margins and it tries to uplift those people and find a God that is on the side of the powerless rather than the powerful. That's our business here, particularly from a queer lens. But queer theology borrows from, or has something in common, maybe even has inspired these other so it's these various contextual and liberation theologies. That's my bread and butter. That's how I can do theology at all.
Well, then you'll love this.
Okay.
When I was doing my doctorate at Boston University, my advisor is Korean. And when I presented one of the first drafts of my thesis, she says, I want you to look up Han and Minjung.
Oh, wow.
And so I actually spent some time working with that a little bit and find out the intersection between the liberation theologies, and particularly queer theology. And I was writing about lesbian theology and how within the lesbian community, we don't find ourselves often within queer theology. So she invited me to consider Han as part of that as well. But I love this embrace of different theologies, liberation theologies. It really brings together, I think, people's experiences, how they experience the sacred and the divine, and how they can find themselves in those experiences as well.
And I think the unique thing about this particular topic as it kind of impacts me is to compare it to what we're going through right now.
Yeah.
And how we can take and bring some critical analysis to some of these and look through and deconstruct and take from it what we need to support us on our journeys today. It's, and from the lens of, just looking at the different lenses of theology, like you said, if it's not about liberation, it's not about And there are points in our journey, and nationally and globally right now, one of my go-to ones is the Global Bible Commentary, because it gives you that a whole take from all the different voices around the globe when it comes to getting a glimpse of various liberation theologies, and it gives you a glimpse of what people were going through and what they had to overcome and what they had to battle, and just kind of look at how they applied their life experiences, their lived experiences, to then say which theology best applies for us. And we can fall back on that to continue to guide critical conversations, contentious conversations. Let's talk about the haves and the have-nots and what movement can really apply and benefit the culture as a whole. So there's so much out there to be had. And when you really get into deconstructing all this, you find things that really, they've been right in front of us all along. And we just needed that moment to come back and say, let me sit with this for a minute and find out what theories I have about all of this, and then how to bring it all together to find which theory you finally fall within a camp of.
And I love transdisciplinary approaches. I love atheist theologians and atheist Bible scholars. I love theologians who tackle the Bible. I love philosophers who tackle theology. I love artists who take over liturgies. I love the literature professors who take on the Bible as literature. And so I love the cross, and these liberative theologies are sort of like that. They, I love when sociologists or anthropologists take on the Bible or whatever, that using their skill set, gives a whole new
Yes.
idea to what you're. So I love these and these liberation theologies are transdisciplinary and transcultural. And here's that trans word again that I love so much because it's bigger, it transcends, it transgresses. I love trans, and so so that's what I love about these things too, is because it's more than perspectives of just from the powerful with power over. It's from the marginalized, it's from the arts, it's from survival, it's from economics, it's from social sciences, and it all comes together to make something life-giving and new. And if your theology isn't life-giving, and especially life-giving for those who have been denied the fullness of life, then it's pretty useless in my opinion.
Yep. There you go.
And that's today with the Queer God Squad. Before we go, we want to invite you to consider a wonderful travel experience. Join Divine Science Everywhere's charting a new course, Cruise for 5-day cruise aboard MSC Seashore, starting at just $299. Departing on November the 2nd, 2025, this all-inclusive getaway features free bus transfers from Ocala, the Villages, and Leesburg, plus free Wi-Fi throughout your journey. Enjoy open bar access for only $99, both on board and at Ocean Cay Marine Reserve. You'll explore Nassau and Paradise Island, the Bahamas, and relax on MSC's exclusive island, Ocean Cay Marine Reserve. Special perks from the Happening Out Travel Club include private happy hours and exclusive dining events. You can book your spot with a $199 deposit. If you haven't heard of Divine Science, you have heard of what it's about. If you like Oprah and Chopra, Louise Hay and Michael Beckwith, spirituality that is based on love rather than dogma, or you are familiar with Silent Unity and the Daily Word, then you already have a pretty good understanding of Divine Science, a New Thought school of thought that has been around since 1888. This nonprofit 501c3 trip is provided at reduced prices because of the charity fundraising educational mission of the Travel Club. We invite you to join us on this amazing cruise for fun, connection, and spiritual renewal.
Get ready for an incredible journey on the Ultra Deluxe MSC Seashore. This 170,000-ton, $1 billion ship offers 5-day cruises from just $299. With free transfers from Ocala, the Villages, and Leesburg, getting to Port Canaveral is easy and convenient for you. There is more. You can upgrade the experience with our $99 open bar package and enjoy unlimited drinks, cocktails, coffee, and more for not one, not two, but every day of your cruise. Your special Travel Club package also includes free Wi-Fi. This MSC Seashore cruise will take you to Nassau and Paradise Island. You also enjoy the pristine beauty of Ocean Cay Marine Reserve, the world's top-rated private island experience. It's a slice of paradise waiting for you. Plus, your open bar access extends to the exclusive Ocean Cay Island too. So, if you dream of sipping on drinks and unwinding on stunning beaches, this is the day for you. When you purchase the $99 bar package, you also receive complimentary Wi-Fi for all 5 days, so that you can share every unforgettable moment with ease with the world. You'll also enjoy exclusive onboard events with fellow travelers, from private happy hours to special dinners. It's all included just for you. Last but not least is the ease of booking this trip. You can secure your spot with just $199 deposit and then pay just $49 a month. Why wait? Book your cruise today for the adventure of a lifetime. Call today to book your dream journey on the MSC Seashore Cruise.
I invite you to like and share this episode on your social media, and I also welcome you to find Sunshine Cathedral on Facebook or Instagram and to visit sunshinecathedral.org. There you will find worship services, newsletters, ways to donate or request prayer, and you can watch some special videos featuring our bishops and amazing guests from around the world.
Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad today. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that we are all in this together. Also remember, you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.